I saw the new Mortal Kombat movie on Friday night. I'm going to talk about what I thought of the movie in this video. This video is going to be kind of a Gameplay Monday / movie review. Hopefully you had a good weekend like I did, but if you didn't, I really hope that this helps get through your rough Monday, because a bad weekend leading into a Monday is not a fun time. So sit back, grab a drink, and let's talk Mortal Kombat. So Friday night I had friends come over to the house. We all had dinner at our house, and then we went to see the movie. But first, the dinner was an interesting one. We decided to have omelets for dinner, which is normally fine with me. I like breakfast for dinner. It's tasty. Don't want to do it every day, but we enjoyed it. Somehow in the planning of all this, the phrase Mortal Omelet popped up, and I think that's how we landed on having omelets for dinner. Lady Cag whipped us up some pretty tasty omelets. We had a lot of ingredients. In fact, let's take a look at all the ingredients you could choose from.
Mushrooms, green onion, avocado, bell pepper, feta, cheddar cheese, sausage, jalapenos, bacon, hash browns, spinach him.
Lady Cag meant to put fun stuff spelled out in the red bell pepper, like fatality and all kinds of stuff, and sprinkle little bits of blood on top, which was just bell pepper. But we were in a hurry and she forgot, so she just quickly took a picture of the MK on her omelet. Either way, it was a fun time and a good meal, and then we headed off to the movie theater, where I was very, very disappointed to see the arcade did not have a Mortal Kombat machine. Joining us was a friend of mine, Nick. He runs Papa Not Working on social media, Instagram, TikTok. I think he may be on more, but that's all I use and all I follow him on. I don't even use TikTok, but I do follow him on there. Anyway, he does movie review kind of stuff, and he said he wanted to go see this movie with me, and I was immediately nervous because I don't really know that much about the Mortal Kombat story. I get the basics. I don't really care that much about the story in any video game, and I don't know why. I've always been that way. Even my beloved Killer Instinct, I don't follow the story too closely. I just want to play the game, see some fun visuals, and I'm okay with knowing just kind of the basics. So hopefully I didn't disappoint you, Nick. We did come back here after and play some video games, get some footage of Mortal Kombat 2 for him. And anyway, we got in there, we enjoyed the movie, and I guess I'll start playing the game and just kind of ramble on as we go. All right. Now you guys know, if you watch my channel, I love Katana, and yes, I did a whole series where I played through every character, thinking it would make me want to play as other characters, but it did a little bit, but it didn't really in the long run, and ultimately I kind of feel like Katana was one of the main stars of MK2, the movie, and the game in my opinion. She was the one I always gravitated towards. I think she's the most fun to play as, so we're just going to go with Katana. So as far as the movie goes, the short... Oh, let me just say now, first of all, no spoilers right here. I will try and mention when spoilers are coming, but the short review is I liked it overall. It was good. It was enjoyable. It was violent, bloody. I mean, all the stuff you'd come to expect from a Mortal Kombat movie and video game. And I think they kind of nailed the tone of it pretty well. I liked Quan Chi, the guy who played Quan Chi. I don't even know his name, I'm sorry, but I liked him. He wasn't as like beefy as I picture Quan Chi, because I'm thinking of the Quan Chi from the side of the Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet who's peeking at me behind the camera there. But he was good. He was a good time. He was a little snaky rather than the evil Quan Chi I picture that Mr. Richard DeVizio played in the games. But anyway, it was a good movie overall. Comparing it to the first movie as far as quality goes, Lady Cag did not like it as much as the first movie. She said she didn't feel there was as much story building in the movie compared to the first one, of course. And I agree with her on that. I think there could have been a little bit more taking of the time, but I don't know. I see what they're going for. They're trying to, and you know, there are all these movies nowadays are trying to entertain the TikTok social media generation and keep them going. Keep them entertained so they don't turn away or look at their phone or whatever. And so they kept the movie relatively short. I think it comes in at just under 2 hours, and it just felt like it could have used another 20 minutes, in my opinion, to like really get the story out there and make us understand what the, you know, all the characters are going for. It just felt a little rushed. Like the first part where they take, okay, I guess I should stop here. Potential spoilers for the rest of this video. When they take Johnny Cage to, I can't remember if he's already in Outworld at that point or whatever, but they're trying to talk him into it, and I think once he finally gets there, it just feels kind of like he's telling a quick narrative. You know, it's like they cut a bunch of stuff in between, is what I should say. So he's kind of going through like, oh, this is what's happening. It's like he's telling the story in a weird way, like it's a movie-making trick, I assume. And it just feels too obvious to me, at least. It's like, oh wait, there should be more in between here. He should go into more detail on this. I get what they're going for, but I felt it could have been a little more fleshed out as far as that goes. It's a constant push and pull, I think, nowadays, trying to please older generations like myself who I don't need to look at my phone every 2 minutes. I don't personally care what's going on social media. In fact, I'm rarely ever on it. But there are those young people that they're trying to hook. And there is a whole new young generation of Mortal Kombat fans that probably have never really played the arcade versions, whereas I'm the opposite and I've only played the newer, or I'm sorry, I am that person. I forgot what I was saying. Hold on. I am the person who's the opposite, who's playing just the old versions. I don't play the new games. So they're trying to please both audiences at once, keep them both entertained. I think they struck a pretty good balance. There was just a few things from an old school Mortal Kombat fan that bothered me as far as that goes. But overall, it was still an enjoyable movie. A couple things that I did have problems with were the guy who plays Raiden also doesn't seem big enough to me. Not that he's not jacked or whatever, it's just he seems small, and I didn't expect that, but, you know, what are you going to do? You can't have giant dudes playing every character, I guess. But I liked him. The neck slice thing that he had done kind of made me think of, like, when you go to a concert and they have that laser light that's, like, spread across and they have fog in the air. That's all I kept thinking. I was like, what is J-Lo here waiting for tonight or whatever? But that was a cool feature. I mean, I thought it was a cool effect. I really liked that as well. The other gripe I did have was the pit. The whole pit scene, I knew we were going into the pit as the camera panned down. I was like, that's the pit. I leaned over to Lady Cag, just in case she didn't know. Probably did that too many times. She probably hates me after that. But I was like, that's the pit. You know, I got all excited. And I was excited thinking, wait, why are they in the bottom of the pit? When I saw them in the bottom of the pit, I was thinking, oh, I guess Reptile's going to appear, which, interestingly enough, he's on the screen now and being a real pain. But he did not. It was Sindel, which was, you know, still cool. I mean, whatever. And then I didn't really like how the fight sequence went because I want to see someone fall into the pit. I don't want to see them rolling around fighting with spikes coming up randomly. Again, maybe that's something from a newer game I'm unaware of, but to me it was like, no, we want to see the big thing where they're trying not to fall off as they fight, and eventually someone's going to fall into that pit. I wanted to see like the big epic splat that they make at the bottom. You know, the movie was already incredibly violent, so I'm not really thinking they're going to hold anything back at that point. But no, they just didn't do it. And I didn't really get that, personally. Like, that's an iconic thing from the entire Mortal Kombat series, at least arcade-wise, that I know. It's like you fall into a bed of spikes, or in the case of this stage, you go up into a bed of spikes. I wanted to see that, especially nowadays when they can seem to get away with doing crazy stuff in movies. Whereas before, it was like that violence was never in the first movies or anything like that. So, it seemed a little weird they didn't take advantage of that and just do it, but again, it was fine. Other than that, I didn't really have too many gripes. The only other thing that I guess might bother me a little is, at a certain point I started realizing this just feels like a collection of fights with a little bit of story in between them. And, you know, that's kind of like complaining, oh, the movie had way too much action. And I get why I died. Oh, right into the pit. See, this Johnny Cage knows what's up. You go into that pit. But I get that that's crazy to complain about. Like I said, like, you're going to complain there was too much action. A lot of people are like, oh, too much talking, let's get to the action. So I'm also that person normally, but it just felt kind of odd. It was kind of getting obvious. It was like, break up the pattern a little bit is what I would have said, but which that would have probably been done by having, I guess, a longer movie. You know, it seems like they had to cut a lot, in my opinion. Or maybe they were just told, like, you can't spend this much money, or you can only have this much time. Like, I'm sure studios are like nothing more than 2 hours unless you're like a legacy filmmaker. I'm sure Christopher Nolan's new movie is not going to be under 2 hours, and that's fine. And I'm sure they let him do what he wants. You know, like Scorsese gets away with it. A lot of them get away with it because they're old school and they've proven themselves. So maybe that was part of it. This is another small gripe. Again, spoilers. If you've made it this far, you've already heard spoilers. When Kitana kills Shao Kahn, I was waiting for the swing, you know, just cut the head off and it goes flying with the helmet flying. I was ready for it, and I was kind of stunned that it didn't happen. It was still a good way to finish him off, and it kind of made me think like, oh, this might be what they do in the newer games, and I just don't know. A lot of the deaths actually felt more like the more modern fatalities, which, call me an old man, but they seem over-the-top violent, and I don't really have a problem with it. I think you should be able to watch whatever you want. But as someone who's like thinking of kids playing that, I'm like, okay, this is when it's very violent. I remember the days of when we were kids, and this was like making headlines for being ultra-violent. This is nothing. Nothing at all compared to what, you know, the modern Mortal Kombat games are. So I was expecting the head to come off, and it didn't, but it definitely got mangled, so that's good. I thought Shao Kahn was great, by the way. The actor was huge. I didn't have any issues with him. I was kind of surprised Melina didn't make an appearance. I was also very surprised that Kentaro didn't show up. I was fully expecting Kentaro to be in the movie, and I thought someone had said that from a trailer or something someone had seen. But apparently he was not in the movie. I usually don't dive in ahead of time and try to like see everything beforehand, because you know you want to have some excitement ahead of time. I also don't like to taint my opinion of a movie before I see it. So I don't really like to read a lot of reviews, because you go in and be like, oh yeah, they said this and now I see what they were saying. I don't want to do that. So I like to go in fresh if I can. That's something I've learned over time after looking at too many reviews ahead of time like an idiot, and then you're sitting there watching the movie like, oh yeah, I see what they were saying, it's kind of dumb, or that kind of sucks, and I don't want to do that. I want to form my own opinion. That said, though, I did sneak a peek at the Rotten Tomatoes score before we went in, and I was like, all right, this looks like it'll be good. I didn't expect it to have the best score, honestly. A sequel, they were already pretty kind to the first one, so I was thinking, they're going to hate this one like most critics do. Personally, I don't give critics a lot of weight, because, you know, they have terrible ideas, in my opinion. Their idea of comedy and stuff is like a joke to me, but anyway. You know what's a joke to me? Sub-Zero, he's dead. Question for you guys, because I didn't really understand this part of the movie. I'm assuming, I think the guy that kept popping out of Sub-Zero was Noob Saibot. Am I right? Am I wrong? I couldn't really figure it out, and I don't know why he was popping out of him. So maybe you guys can tell me that. Is that something else I'm missing from the modern games? Is that a thing that I just don't know about? So let me know. That would be helpful. I think overall we all enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure Caroline, which is Nick's wife, she's not really a big Mortal Kombat fan, I would imagine. I think she probably sat there the whole time like, what the hell is this? But she seemed to enjoy it too. Lady Cag, like I said, was not as big of a fan as this one. She liked it, but she did not like it as much as the first, let's say that. I kind of liked it as much as the first, in my opinion. I liked the first movie, but it didn't really blow me away. I thought it was very good, competent, and all that, but it didn't be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. It kind of almost didn't feel Mortal Kombat-esque for the first half of it, in my opinion. But it was good. Overall, let me do the ratings, I guess. Let me think of that. So the rating for, I'm going to give you MK1 rating for me. I would give that a solid, like, 8.5. That was very good. And I think I would give the second movie a solid 8. It was fine for me, but then again, you know, I'm not really deep into the lore of Mortal Kombat, even though I love the games. I'm starting to hate the games. Anyway, but it was good. It was overall, watching the experience, I enjoyed it. It looked good. Sound was a little weird. It could have been our theater, by the way. We both noticed, Lady Cag and I were like talking about how they need to turn it up, and then as the movie went on, we realized the action was loud, but like we had a hard time hearing some of the dialogue. It was weird. Could have been our theater, though. You can let me know what your experience was. And speaking of that, I would love to know what you guys thought of the movie. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some people who hated it. Sometimes I think some of these YouTube channels like to come out and say they hated these movies because they know it'll get a bunch of clicks. Personally, I'm riding off the OMELET hook, which I'm kidding, but I think it's kind of funny. I think I'm going to put that on the thumbnail if I didn't already. Well, obviously, I haven't done it because I haven't done the thumbnail, but I think that's kind of a funny thing to eat before Mortal Kombat. One thing we did miss, and none of it, I don't think any of us really eat ketchup on an omelet, because I don't know a lot of people who do, but I think that would have been cool to have, like, the blood look of ketchup with it. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of time. We were running late for the movie. It was a Friday. We probably should have gone on a Saturday. We were all trying to get done with work. They had to get through a ton of traffic to get to my house, because I live in traffic hell. and we ended up getting a little behind. I really wanted to see him in the movie, though. I really did. I was actually, I was stunned he wasn't in there. I kept telling Lady Cat, I was like, Kentaro's going to be in the new one, I'm sure. And he wasn't. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. How many of you guys would see it twice? I considered it. I hate the movie theater, though. The movie theater's gross. Our theater has nice, you know, those big reclining seats. But they're gross. Like, if you see them in any light, you're like, this is disgusting. I don't want to sit here. Not that I'm a fancy boy, but I also have that fear of getting bed bugs and stuff. And I've been in the pest control business too long to really be able to sit there and enjoy it. I do know that there's another theater just down the street from that one. Very nice, big, fancy theater with an arcade and bowling and all that. I won't mention the name, but I know they've had a rat problem where, like, people are seeing movies and rats are running around their feet. Personally, though, I was telling our friends that when we were in the car ride back, I was like, I'd take a rat any day over bed bugs, because a rat, I don't care. I've seen a couple live rats in my entire time doing pest control. They're scared to death of us. But bed bugs are sneaky. They come home with you. A rat's not coming home with me, so I don't have to worry about that. I can't believe I just blew through con like that. Boom. So one of the fun things I got to do with Nick and Caroline is show them the EJB menu. I don't know if he recorded some of the footage. I don't know if he'll use it, but a lot of people don't know about the EJB menu still, and it looks like a total hack, you know, when you're doing the button taps and they're like, yeah, right. And then the machine, you know, shows you a secret menu. So that was cool. One thing I just remembered, Ed Boon's cameo. He made a cameo in the movie. He was the bartender, and I'm not really like a get super excited guy in public, but I was like, you know, I freaked out, and Lady K's like, what? It's like, that's Ed Boon. And I'd lean over to Nick, because he doesn't really know he knows Mortal Kombat, but he doesn't know it like I do and all that. And I was like, that's the guy who created the game, or one of the guys who created the game and all that. So nice cameo from Ed in there. And I was excited to see his name on the credits. I don't know why. It's not like, I was just happy to see they included him in it, and I'm sure he has his hand in a lot of the movie anyway. They probably talked to him and stuff, but it was cool to see. I kind of hoped that they would, and maybe they did and I missed it. I don't know. I thought they might somehow sneak in these actors like in the background, or like they bump into them somewhere, you know. Not like very obvious, but just be like, oh yeah, there's the guy who plays Jax. I know the Pecinas don't have the greatest relationship with them anymore, but it would have been cool to see one of the Pecina brothers in there or something, you know, as like a nod. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys got a nice distraction from your Monday here. I rambled on about the movie. I was not going to sit here and do like a sit in front of a screen or sit in front of a game and do a review kind of thing, because I just don't feel that I can bring that much to the table as far as that goes. But that was my experience with the movie. Overall, I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more arcade and omelet content. I'm kidding, there's not going to be more omelets. It would be cool. We saw the Street Fighter trailer, by the way, leading into the movie. It would be cool if we got a Killer Instinct movie. I'm starting to get a little jealous. Before I was like, whatever, we don't need it. Now I'm starting to get a little jealous. Give me a Killer Instinct movie. They'll probably mess it up though, but the Street Fighter movie looks pretty good. Not a big Street Fighter guy, as a lot of you know, but I do plan to go see that one in the theater as well. As long as Lady Cag will go with me. I'm not going to go alone like a weirdo, but maybe we'll do a meetup. If she doesn't want to go, I'll see if anybody in the area wants to meet me at the movie theater, and we'll go watch it together. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next video.